Every cringy podcast episode intro you can think of.
Hi guys.
Live from the middle of Backwater, New South Wales. Backwater?
Somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, somewhere between Albury and Gundagai. We left home at I left home at 3:30 this morning, and picked Anthony up about 4 o'clock.
Yep, left mine about 4:30-ish.
And then we are on our way to Sydney to see World Time Attack Challenge. So we've got one of our favourite traditions amongst our old car club friends. We were in a forum called Oz Lancer Forum. I know, we're old.
Still around.
Still running every day. So we're on our way there, and our friends come from all over the country now. We're lucky enough to have collected people over the years. We've got one friend actually coming from Brisbane.
It's 5:05 in the morning, and I'm just about to start the journey. Holy shit, that's bright.
Yeah, so he's left, I think, about the same time, so it's a 12-hour drive for him. He's on his way down.
He's no doubt going to be late.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just Rigby. He's not fazed by anything.
Fucking horrendous. So it's this fucking cow.
The fun part of this is we're attending an event. It's on Friday and Saturday, and then outside of those hours, it's currently Thursday, we're going to turbocharge a car.
We are. As part of the club, used to have a turbocharged car myself. I've stripped that down, just on selling the parts, keeping it within the family.
I drive a ute, and it is full to the brim of car parts. We've got boxes in the back, we've got turbos, we've got exhaust manifolds. I've got an exhaust strapped to the roof, looks a bit like a rocket launcher. And there's a penis facing out to the crowd, isn't there?
There is.
You're telling me you've let me drive all the way to Albury with a cock on my car?
Maybe.
Hey, say hello, kids. Anyway, here we go. 72 hours, one car in, one turbocharger attached, no sleep, and let's see how we go.
So we have an issue. So if I'm going 110-ish, plant my foot, the gearbox goes doesn't actually catch onto a gear. I've tried it maybe 5 times and it's caught on once, but I have a feeling like the torque converter is completely so fingers crossed it doesn't explode on the way and I can make it to and from in one piece. So we have another issue. So the gearbox is, flip-flapping around, having trouble doing its thing. Here's the other issue. You see that? Just in there. How's that look? Not good, hey? And I'm just gonna let it have a little rest.
Pretty isolated spot. Like, you find a roadhouse that doubles as the post office, doubles as the servo, doubles as the doctor's clinic.
I heard it was a school too.
And a school.
Yeah.
And a school, yeah, but only 2 days a week. The rest is remote learning.
Oh, good on them.
But they do it by mail correspondence.
Yeah, and the kangaroo's the postman, huh?
Yeah.
Our adventure this weekend is rooted in tradition. The first fold is World Time Attack Challenge. We've been going every year for at least 12 years, and if not a very similar trip.
Yeah, very, very close.
Yeah, World Time Attack Challenge, if you don't know, pretty much anyone with a race team and a car that is applicable and is eligible can enter this race. It's you, tarmac, and the clock. That's it. Second fold. We used to be part of a little nerdy car club. We all drove Lancers and Lancer variants back in the day. Period of time in the heyday of forums. So we just aged ourselves there.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell by the balding patches on our head. For this, to meet up with our friends who some live in Sydney and some come down from Queensland.
And a singular Queenslander. Thanks, Paulie. Knob.
And so we kind of all congregate in the middle and cause havoc. The difference being this year is that we've got one friend, Rigby. He's coming down from Brisbane in his new project car, which just so happens to be a piss yellow Lancer.
Yes, yellow Lancer. So our friend Rigby, he's been in the game for a while. Now he's updated by going to that new, I say new generation. It's not really the new generation.
No,
It's
I think it started at 97.
something like
97
that.
to 03, the run of the cars were.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've all had one of those in our time. Pretty much all of our friends have had one. And what have we done to your car? We've just pillaged it.
Yeah, destroyed it basically. It was
The feeling goes, we've all had parts over the years. They've all trickled down to those who have left. And then Anthony had a Mirage, which is the hatchback variant, and that was quick.
also had a aftermarket camshaft in it. It ran on ethanol.
And what workshop did the work on that one?
That would be in the workshop of myself.
So booger welds, welded onto things, all kinds of havoc. What power did you figure did you get to in the end?
So from factory, they come with 86 kilowatts.
Ooh.
I ended up putting down 205 at the front wheels.
Yeesh.
Torque is 176 newton meters from factory. I had 360-ish. A lot.
Quick maths.
Quick maths.
Well, we just had an update from Rigby. We are 2 hours out of Sydney, and he's about 4 hours north of Sydney. True issue is he was overheating, so he pulled over, had about a 20-minute sit, and it seemed to cool off. But he's gotten back on the road. He said he lost power steering, which is in an interesting fold, but he's also continued to overheat here. So we're gonna sit with him and sort of figure it out on the phone.
Lancer decided to shit the bed, sort of literally, now maybe piss the bed. So a bit of coolant coming in. Top coolant hose is hot, the bottom coolant hose is not hot. So we're thinking seized thermostat or something like that. And here it is in all of its flaming glory. So on the side of the road, I'm going to attempt to not get run over by a truck and do a thermostat delete, and then hopefully can limp it to Sydney, get a new one while we're there, and then fingers crossed, buttholes clenched, pray, vibes, whatever the got, send them now.
Alright, Donkey, tell me. This car that's now in pieces in the back of my car.
Yes.
When did you get it?
So I got it when I was 17. I got it specifically to learn how to drive a manual car when I was a learner. I've broken a couple of gearboxes, I've blown out a couple of clutches.
Excellent. And tell me, like, this is a pretty significant event for us. We've done this trip a lot of times at that poor old Mirage.
You know what? I reckon the favourite time that we've gone up is not specifically for Time Attack, but when we went up for an end of year meet, and we caught up with, I don't know, about 24 other people.
Yeah.
And we did some light painting in one of the open car parks up out in
that was
Penrith,
cool.
out in the
That
far west.
As was the fashion at the time for car photos, to put some streams of light around them.
Yes.
My favourite time the exhaust fell off, and we listened to a muffler end right in the centre of the car, in a car with zero sound deadening for, I don't know, 800 Ks.
Something like that.
And we had to change injector seals.
Oh yeah, that
in the
was
back of
another
Yass.
one. That was another good one.
Yeah.
Middle of some farm's driveway. Yeah, leaking fuel everywhere. Middle of the night.
Yeah, I think that's the essence of this trip though. We used to be crazy. Like I'd finish uni, go to work, go drive to your house. We'd get in the car at your house and drive all the way to Sydney in the middle of the night, so we didn't have to take more time off work. And it used to be like a pilgrimage of modified cars. It used to feel like the Fast and Furious. You know, there were just modified cars blasting past everywhere. You pull in at every road stop, every fuel bowser had like Nissan Silvia this far off the ground to it.
Yeah, some sort of race car, some sort of modified sports car.
Oh yeah, we made friends on the side of the road once just by driving next to them and finding his Instagram somehow, just by searching his car.
Yes.
That was pretty funny.
I think for Time Attack, it's at least 10. Comfortable with saying at least 10.
So, we've been at least 10 times to this.
Minimum.
And at least 8 of them, that Mirage has come up and down, right?
Yes.
Now, this is its final pilgrimage. That thing is in pieces, never to run again. So I guess the Triton's become a hearse today. That's carrying the remains of a loved one off to its final destination.
It is. It's going to continue the journey north as well.
Yeah. Forever ascending.
Forever ascending.
So here's the deal. I've got my PPE on, my safety hat, my safety glasses. I've got my long sleeve hoodie on, so I'm not going to get 3rd-degree burns all over my arms. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the bottom off the water bottle, invert it upside down, shove it into the rad top of the radiator, use it as my little overflow bleeding bottle thing, and fingers crossed. Hey, this has been so dumb. Some progress was made. The petrol station that I need to get to, obviously we did not make it there, but Google Maps says it's now 3 minutes or 2.5 kilometers away. hopefully this is something I can look back on in, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and it'd be, haha, funny times. Remember when I was on the side of the road eating shit? But everything turned out all right because I made it to Sydney and the car didn't explode and everything went according to plan and the turbo conversion got done and the exhaust got done and it made it home with no more bullshit. But for now, this sucks. Lucky I've got the boys on Messenger to help me out, so I don't feel completely alone, but still not fun.
We are in the Airbnb, unloaded at the house, and his radiator exploded. So we got to go get him. He was on his way here, but he's 3 hours north of Sydney. So we now need to go get a trailer and then drive him home. And then we're still supposed to modify the car. But we'll see. We're checking in. We are on our way where, Sam? Oh, by the way, guys, this is Sam. Sam's our resident mechanic, and he was going to be the brains behind the turbo swap. I say was. Why do I say was?
Still could be. We don't know what's happening.
We actually don't know what's happening, but given the blown radiator, we picked up a car trailer, and the ever faithful Triton, the big girl, is going to go and pick this car up.
So we're headed to
Bulladella?
of all places, just north of Newcastle, dragging a trailer and pick up a bright yellow CE Lancer.
Yeah, well, they said I'd take the piss out of this trip, but I didn't think I'd be taking the piss onto the trip. So the piss yellow Lancer is it's coming home. We'll check back in when we're less depressed about the trip. It is really pretty though.
It's a very nice drive out this way.
Sunny part of the world.
Lots of trees and nature and all that.
And the view's not bad either.
Yeah, thanks, mates. So with the tunes blaring, New South Wales decided to offer us some scenery to make up for a long, long day so far. And it wasn't long before the sun set on us while we made our way to Bulladella. But just in case we forgot about him, Rigby did send us his diary.
Waiting for my heroes to arrive and trailer this back to the workshop, and big bugs keep flying into the windows, so that's pretty cool.
This went on for a while.
Is this what it's like when, people who climb Mount Everest or something, they can't reach the summit? Maybe there's like that opportunity where they can push to reach the summit, but if they do, there's like a certain time limit, and if they don't make it in the time limit, then they can get trapped up there and die. I'm definitely being over dramatic. It's not that bad.
You know what? Technically, we have met halfway.
Yeah, between Melbourne and Queensland.
Yep. We've gone halfway. Meet me halfway.
So Sam jumps in the driver's seat and heroically begins to load up the banana. Not before realising the car was actually too low in stock form. So Rigby and Anthony sat in the back to lift the front nose up, got out as it left the lift, and on we popped, ready to take on the next step. Rigby, give me some final thoughts here. So we all piled into the Triton and set out on the 230-kilometre odd journey home. But barely a shred of sanity between us. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Rigby, you're here.
Yay!
How is your, engine?
Probably room temp right now.
There was a lot of other things that could have been said there.
No, just that.
Yeah, this is the mood we're in
That was
right
the
now.
most appropriate thing I could think of.
We had some tantrums, and by we I mean I got out of the car, tried to be practical for about 8 seconds, and anyone who knows me knows that if I'm tired or hangry, it's all over.
You only have 2 minutes, those are it.
Accurate depiction. We're on our way to Heather Brae for the best pie in the area for the 12 millionth billboard we've seen. So we'll check back in with the pie. There may be tears, soggy pastry for all the wrong reasons.
I want mine with cream.
your soggy pastry
that,
with
mate.
cream.
Oops.
So at 10:30 p.m. we were finally back at the Airbnb ready to unload the banana. And once again had to employ the tactics of sitting in the back to lift the nose so we didn't scrape the front lip off. And there it was, parked in the place it would be for the next 24 to 48 hours, with a list being written on the window of what would need to happen if we were even to attempt this turbo conversion. And then, before we could even think all the way through it, parts started flying off the car. And can you describe the plan for us while you're working?
No, I think we got some hopes and dreams on the way here. Pros and thoughts.
So, fuel rail out.
Fuel rail out, swap that in. There's the feed and the return, which is very easy. Rail mounts with two 12 mils, change them over. We've got 565cc injectors to swap in for Subaru WRX.
Alright, so, what are you most concerned about right now?
You know what? Rigby's backing out of the driveway. He's got the new ECU. He's got larger injectors. It's an automatic and it's a manual ECU. The thing's driving. He's changing gears.
We had second gear, yeah.
That works good. So that was the biggest concern that I had. Second biggest concern, now that I've looked inside his engine bay, is the intercooler. The auto gearbox is quite fat and it sticks out a lot forward of the engine than the manual gearbox. So we might have to get a bit creative tomorrow with the piping to run it to go from the cold side of the intercooler up into the throttle body.
What are you most concerned about at almost midnight on Thursday when we've got time attack tomorrow?
We've got to make sure that we get this sump off, dried and sealed like tonight. Otherwise there's no way that thing's going to hold oil tomorrow when it needs to be tested, driven and then taken to the exhaust shop.
And if you had to give that a percentage of wanting to do right now versus needing to do, what percentage are you sitting at?
It's 100% need to do. Very close to 0% want to do. But hey, what needs to be done must be done, all right?
So we got 1125, and this is the list of things that we have to do. We got to install the wideband gauge. We got to install the oil temperature, boost gauge, oil pressure gauges. We got to remove the rad fans. We got to remove the exhaust. We got to remove the front bar. We have to remove the rocker cover, the cams, and the followers. Got to drain the sump. Got to swap in the new sump. Then we can add the turbo. Then we can add the intercooler. We can add the piping that we need for the intercooler. We can and have to cut the front bar to fit the intercooler. We can remove the throttle body coolant hosing because that's what will be the coolant for the turbocharger. We can add the oil sandwich plate onto where the oil filter goes. Then we can run the oil lines. We can swap spark plugs, and then eventually do some skids. We already have done injectors and we've swapped in the ECU. Everything's working sweet, but big major step one that works. Happy.
Start when you're ready.
I guess we're going to keep progressing tonight. We're going to get it up on the stands at least. Brian's going to go for gold on getting this bar off. We're going to have lots of fun. I guess we got to get the oil drained tonight, and we'll see how willing I am once I'm upside down underneath the car again as to how much comes off.
Trust your mechanic friend to say he doesn't want to do it, then pull out the coolest contraption to pull oil out of a car.
You could say that fan was not compliant.
It is 1:30 in the morning, so I have been awake for 22 hours, 19 of which spent in the car. Didn't expect that, but what a day. Sam, the absolute MVP, did all the driving, thank God. I don't think I could have actually towed tonight. I just didn't have the concentration left, I don't have the skill, to be fair. We wrenched on the car just then. So we got lots of parts off. Main issue was getting the sump on. So we've pulled everything off the front half of the motor. We got the radiator out. Not all the way out, but we got the fans off the radiator. We got everything started going. Number one priority tonight was getting that sump on. We're just finishing that up now. So that sump has to dry. Like the glue on that has to dry in order to keep oil in the car. So we've got that on now, and that's going to dry overnight, and then 24 hours we should be able to put oil in it, so we'll actually be able to get it to where we need to get it to. We're doing it on our backs in the driveway, which isn't too foreign for all of us, but we did have access to a hoist line up today. I don't know, plans go belly up, but we're here. Time for showers and bed, and hopefully be fit and ready to roll in the morning. A couple odd jobs to do in the car, pack up, and then go enjoy some racing. Should be a good day, but for now, feeling a bit broken, feeling a bit tired, and got nothing left in the tank. Ready for sleep. See you in the morning. Coming up in part 2.
Thank you, baby.
New friends, race cars, tantrums, concern, defeat.
Hope is lost.
We've got 48 hours left to rebuild Spanner, problem solve, make appointments, and get us all home.
We've got no problem. I can't actually build the higher up yet.
We hit more than just speed bumps along the way, but that's all coming up in part 2.